All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special episode. Sorry, they Drew's face off there. Let's try this again. All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning, and welcome to a very special episode of Take Your Shot Media Crew presents Double Dribble, episode number 91, Trip to the Chip. It is Championship Sunday for the American Basketball Association. And first off, disclaimers, plural. First disclaimer is we will be speaking about the semifinal games that took place this past Friday between the Aces and the Extreme, and also the Panthers and the Bats. If you don't want to know about that or you haven't watched the games, then you go ahead and turn this off now. Otherwise, we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be previewing the championship between, and sorry, we're not going to tell you yet. We will be telling you who it is very, very shortly. So again, it's just me and my buddy over there, Agent Drew Sanchez. What's up, Drew? It's early, but good morning, dude.
Yeah, man, it's never early when you're in the ABA doing this ABA stuff. They're already 3 hours ahead, and as you can see, it's Championship Sunday, folks. So
There
I
you
got the
go.
ball out.
There you go. Mine's in my car right now. I literally was using it yesterday. All right. So again, that's our disclaimer. I don't have to do the opinion disclaimer because I can't say it's the opinions of not the opinions of Take Your Shot Media Crew because it's just us. So it is the opinion of Take Your Shot Media Crew today.
Facts.
So first off, we're just gonna shoot it. We're just gonna shoot the shit. We only got like an hour here because I got somewhere I gotta be today. Unless it rains, and then it's a whole nother different story. We'll see. Supposed to have a baseball game today. So I'm setting the timer now. All right, here we go. 15 minutes. Our first game was between the West champion Silicon Valley Panthers, the ones we just interviewed yesterday. A great interview. Go back and watch episode 90. It was great. And the Austin Bats from Austin, Texas. That game was full of unexpected action and a lot of surprises. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, like Ricky stated, if you haven't seen that game, you need to go back and watch it. It was electric. It came down literally to the last possession. It was a battle. Spoiler alert, there is spoiler alerts if you haven't watched this episode right here. 91 is going to have spoilers all over the place.
Hmm.
Literally the fridge is on the fritz. So
Wow. Now people aren't gonna eat breakfast. Way to go.
I don't care.
It's
It's
lunch
early.
back
It's
east
it's
already,
it's
so
early,
almost.
bro. People
Yeah.
don't need to be eating breakfast. They need to be watching us.
It's
But
brunch. There you go.
seriously, so that game was just a hard fought battle by both.
Mm.
We had the number one team in the nation, the
Against number
Silicon
five.
Valley Panthers, who are literally the three-time West Division
Yep.
region champions. They've made so many Final Fours in the last 4 years.
Yep. Great story. You got to go back and
Great
watch that,
story. You got to
honestly.
watch episode 90. But long story short, they were on the short end of the stick. The final score was 111 to 109. The Austin Bats came and played. They did their homework.
Yep.
And be in reality, I felt that the Panthers were rushing a lot of their shots.
Hmm.
They kind of got lackluster on defense and even on offense. The last
Yep.
5 minutes of the game, they literally just, I don't know, they were up by 10
Yep.
and they just
More at
found
some
a,
points. Yeah.
yeah, and they just found a way to relinquish the lead, and after that, they just
Yep.
never recovered.
Yeah, so I do got a couple notes here. Like Drew was saying, the Panthers came in, they came in fast, and that's what they're known for. They came in really, really fast. Just doing what they do. They're known for the three, they're known for the fast pace. And for the first couple minutes, the bats just weren't ready. You could say that the Panthers were flying right by them. It just
Oh my
happened.
God.
And yeah, but after a couple minutes, the bats started picking up on defense, and I was very, very impressed. And I've been very critical of the bats.
Oh,
And
Ricky's been a critic for the Bats, saying,
but
the last game when they played the just to get even to the Final Four.
it wasn't their best. I don't feel I feel that they're better than what their regional game showed. And
Yeah.
I will eat those words, especially when we go to interview if we hopefully we interview them soon. Um I respect they did their homework. You saw, hey, we're going up against a team that's fast paced. They love to shoot the three. They attack the boards not as much as they shoot the three. And they were double teaming, full court pressure, all this stuff. And again, this was the first game on Friday. Um, Austin also had a height advantage. I noticed that. They had a guy that was six, according to their owner, 6'11", I believe,
Yeah.
without tall shoes. So, yeah, he was huge. I know you saw him. Mims, I think his name was.
Yeah, he was a
But
big guy.
yeah, and another thing I have to point out, I would not be a journalist if I didn't point it out. Mims did not have the matching color jersey. So in the ABA, that's an automatic technical, which they did not call. And I'm not saying they should have, they shouldn't have. I'm just saying it's something that maybe they should have caught. You know?
Well, that I guess they let that bat out of the cage.
Oh my God, this is going to be a long show.
And
We're-
and not only that, when you said he was so big, I mean, hey, Texas likes to do it big. Everything's
They
big
do.
over there.
They do. He
So
played.
they had there was a guy over there with the big cowboy hat on
I
the
saw
side.
that. I saw
He
that.
was right over there. I mean, they brought a big
Mhm.
crowd out there in Texas.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There
Brought him
might
with
have been
them.
Bevo might have been there from the
Oh
University of
my
Texas.
God,
We don't
Bevo.
know.
Imagine he comes walking onto the
We
court.
don't know anything. We couldn't see the parking lot in that last.
Y'all don't know who Bevo is. He's the big Longhorn that's at the Texas Longhorn games.
Yeah, he killed
Um,
that.
so Mims, I gotta give Mims a shout out though. Yeah, he didn't have the matching shorts. Maybe they just didn't have any that fit him or something. He was a tall MFer, dude. And he was playing bully ball the whole game, bully
Yeah,
ball.
it
And
was it
he knew what he
was
was doing.
that's why I said they did their homework, they scouted out, which is kind of like what I said in the regular season when actually the team I play work for, Guy Levy,
Mhm.
we hosted Silicon Valley. And even prior to the game, I had spoke to Guy Levy himself and Dom and a couple other people in the players themselves. I said, look, I've watched the Panthers play. I've seen them the last X amount of years because obviously I was with the Suns and I've obviously seen homework. And as a guy who plays defense, I was, a defensive player myself. I was like, look, this team likes to run and gun. What do you do to stop a run and gun team? You literally slow the
Mhm.
pace of the game. You
And that's what they did.
control the clock. If you could control the clock, guess what? A team that run and guns cannot do much if you're holding the ball and
Yep.
you're taking it. You got 24 seconds on a shot clock.
Hmm.
Don't take a good shot unless it's an open shot. But my theory is don't shoot ball until there's like 5 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah.
So you already drained 20 seconds.
Yep. Yep, no, I agree. And then a couple more things from the first quarter. The Panthers were we were talking, me and Drew were talking during the game for most of it. Panthers were rushing the three, and this is no hate on the Panthers because we just talked to them yesterday and they agreed on a lot of this stuff that we're saying. They rushed on the three, and their shots were not good because they were rushing the three. When they were actually able to set up, get behind that, they had like four lines. That was kind of crazy to me, but they were able to make the shots. But other than that, they were rushing the three, and the big one, they missed free throws.
Yeah,
Lots of missed free
yeah.
throws.
And I'm a real stiffler. I talked to this if you guys got to tune into episode 90, but I was talking to both Coach Doc and Jerry and literally saying, and even his players, there was some cameos by their
That was
players.
awesome, by the
You
way.
got to watch that episode, folks. But I was saying I'm very big on fundamentals of basketball. And the fundamental number one is free throws.
Hmm.
It's literally the easiest shot in basketball. It is. There's no one defending you. And it's a short little way to the basket. I say, though, everyone likes to switch the free throw. I don't mind using the backboard. It's
Yeah,
effective. It goes in.
as long as it
I
goes
mean, that's
in.
why if you ever go to like an arcade or a Dave and Buster's, why do you think they have the little Papa Shot
And
thing?
it's lined up. Yeah.
And you use the backboard, bro. There's a
Mhm.
square there for a reason. Use the square, put a little arc on it, and
Yep.
it's gonna go in every time.
Yeah.
I was a 94%er, 93%er from the line myself. And the fact is, if you we hear this all the way, like even Shaq would discuss it back in the day of NBA that he would shoot 1,000 free throws a day. And it was just him not being able to, do it during a game time. But, me back in the day, I put on big old giant headphones and have crowd noise playing just so I
Mhm.
can get it and still have the same arc no matter what the situation.
Yeah, and it's also about timing. Like you got to be clutch at certain times. But on the flip side, you need to make all your free throws. Those free throws you missed in the first quarter could affect. I mean, it ended up being a 2-point ball game at the end. So that's all I'm going to say. So with that said, at the end of the first quarter, it was 35-25. You said 10-point lead Panthers. We go into the second quarter, and the Panthers actually attacked the board, which I noticed, which was really good. So they adjusted to not attacking the boards in the first quarter. They started attacking the boards in the second quarter, which was good. They picked up on defense. So I don't know if you noticed that as well.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot. They started finding to pressure the bats, literally they started playing Joker ball and not letting the bat come out of Gotham City at all.
Oh my
So it was a good defense. It was a good change of pace for what we normally don't see the Panthers normally do. Crashing the boards is exactly what you're going to say. Sometimes I like to make the joke, hey, these guys haven't seen, hit a
God.
board or anything like that.
hmm
But you got to do the fun. It's the small fundamental things you
Yeah.
do that can dictate what happens at the end.
And Coach Doc and Jerry agreed with us on that yesterday. They
Yeah.
said the little things is what stood out. Another thing I noticed is the bats got to the line. They were attacking a lot as
Yeah.
well, but as more than the first quarter. Because remember, they were down 10 going into the second quarter. They got a lot more free throw attempts, but they, for the most part,
Made their
capitalized.
free throws.
Capitalized.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what it is. And it's like I say, it's you have whatever you do in the first 24 minutes of the game can dictate the last 24.
No, absolutely. Also from there, let's see what we got. We just got little side notes we're giving you guys. So we don't want to spoil everything for you guys, but we want you to have a heads up of what the heck's going on when you go to watch the championship today at 11 o'clock Pacific time. The Bats come back from down 10, getting closer and closer. The Panthers just kept missing shots, whether it was a layup, whether it was a three. It just wasn't falling for them in the second quarter. It just wasn't.
No, no, they weren't in the jungle anymore with their
Oh
shots,
my
bro.
God, stop it. We're gonna get through this.
The
So we
dad
get
jokes, bro.
I know it's too early, y'all. We get to halftime and it's a 3-point ball game,
Yeah.
57 to 54 Panthers. So that was a shot. A Bats took the second quarter, in the other words.
Yeah,
So
typically, usually a Panther basketball because we've seen it so much. They usually they're not only up usually at halftime. They're always
mhm,
usually up at
by a
halftime,
lot.
but they're
Yeah.
usually up by at least minimum like nine.
Yep.
They are the number one team in the nation. Remember
Yep.
that, folks.
23 and they were
They were
both they
they
were
were both
23
coming
and 0.
into this game 23 and 0.
Well, the Bats lost one.
Oh yeah, the Bats lost one. That's
Yeah,
right.
this is semifinals. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're 23, yeah, 23 and 0 were the Panthers. So, and then okay, so we moved to the third quarter. We got about 4 minutes. We moved to the third quarter and the Bats get fouled. I mean, was it? No, the Bats did a foul behind the arc, which is a big no-no in basketball because
Yeah,
that's
you do not foul on a three.
yeah, they did, but the sad part is again, the Panthers didn't capitalize on the
Capitalize.
free throws. And again, Coach Doc, Coach Derry attests to that. But the Bats, on the other hand, were clutch at the free throw line in
I'm
the third
telling
quarter.
you, I'm
hmm
telling you, free throws lose games. I've become being on the guy who's doing the stats and literally seeing it. How like I'm like I've had players come up to me and say, "Oh, what's our free throw percentage?" I'm like, "You
Yeah.
guys are 10 for 21." It's like, bro, you've left 11 points off the board. You could be up. Instead, you're down by six
Yeah,
because of
absolutely.
it.
No, absolutely. Then there was a big long delay. I can't remember what happened. Something big had happened. They had a big long delay. And then another thing that happened a lot in the third quarter that didn't happen in the first was 3Ds. And it was mainly by the Panthers.
Yeah,
And again, capitalize, that's our word today, capitalize. The Bats
shift,
capitalized on the
shift key,
3Ds.
caps locks. You can call it whatever you want to
Oh my
call it.
gosh. So we get to the end of the third quarter and the Panthers are up again by one, 84 to 83. So this game is exactly what I'm not going to say exactly because let's be real, a lot of people did not expect the Bats to be in as much as they were. So again,
You,
a shout out to them.
you.
I admitted to it. I thought the Panthers were going to win by at
Hey,
least 10,
Ricky, admission is the first step, bro.
and
12.
hey, you got to be, as a journalist, you got to be honest sometimes. So we get into the fourth quarter, and again, the Panthers go in leading. Let
Only
me
up by
say
three.
88. No, it was 84, 83. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a one
So,
point lead, which is
yep,
very if you like I've said it to other teams, if you can get the Panthers with a 4 to 5 spot lead only going into any quarter,
you
you
got a
have an
chance.
opportunity. You
Yeah,
have a chance.
yeah. So we get into the fourth, and one of their superstars, Ray Hubbard, who absolutely demolished the Guy Levy Legends, number two, Ray Hubbard, started picking up momentum, started taking control. He's like, their passing was better. The communication was better, which is big. If you don't have communication, you ain't got nothing. So that
Well,
was
that's
that.
what 50% of relationships fail because of lack of
Yes,
communication.
exactly. So the Panthers were regaining the lead, but here's the part that kicked them in the ass. And we've talked about it this entire show, and we only got about a minute left, and then we got to move to the next game. The Panthers didn't hit the free throws.
Yep. That's going to be the main focus of them. And then they made some crucial bad decisions.
Turnovers, yeah.
Turnovers other than Apple and,
Oh my
whatever ones you buy
God,
from the store.
shut up. It's
But
too
seriously,
early, dude. It's
no,
not
it's
even
not,
8
bro. It's
o'clock
some
here in
milk. It's some milk.
California.
But listen, so turnovers cost them because there was actually, I think there was a play in the fourth quarter. I might be mistaken, but there was a play in the fourth quarter where the bats were down, the Panthers were up, and the bats scored a 2-pointer, and then really quick on the inbound, the Panthers got the ball, throw it in, and a quick 3D happens, like extremely fast, and the bats capitalize on it, and boom, get another 3 points. And I'm like, they just did a 5 point swing on them.
Yeah, they did. Couple times.
Yep.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we got about 30 seconds. The Bats came back from down 10 early in the game, stayed close in the third, stayed close at the end of the second. They made their free throws. I'm going to say it. Free throws won this game and sent the Austin Bats to the championship. They
Yep.
won 111 to 109. So congratulations to the state of Texas, to the city of Austin. And congratulations also to the Panthers. My God, three-time Western champions, a class act organization. They just were beat by a better team that day.
I
And that's coming
yeah.
from me, you know.
Just in the course of the 4 years, I think the Panthers have lost a combined maybe 4 or 5 games. That's
If
ridiculous.
that, bro, if that.
And majority of their loss going, I think they've went to championship Final Four the last 4 years. They probably came in either undefeated or only with one loss. So the fact
Hmm.
is, this team is a legit team from the West, and it proudly represents the West.
It
Just because
does.
you lose in the Final Four doesn't mean you're just a knock. This
Yeah.
team is a force to be reckoned with.
Again, go watch episode 90. They were nothing but classy about the loss and giving a bunch of love to the Austin Bats and the Austin Bats organization. So, all right, we're going to put 20 minutes on this timer because this game was full of everything. This game, the second game, was between the East champion Buffalo Extreme, actually one of our guests, Coach Ryan Gallo. Again, shout out to Ryan Gallo and the Buffalo Extreme. And one of our future guests coming up, the Nashville Aces. And the Nashville Aces in the regionals defeated the two-time national champion Chicago Fury.
Like
So
the
you
Fury.
knew this one was going to be exciting.
This was the number 2 team in the nation versus the number 3 team in the
Yep.
nation. Both
Both
coming
undefeated. Hmm.
both coming in 23-0.
Yep.
We thought this one, no spoiler alert yet, but we thought this one was going to be more tight pressed than the
Hmm.
first. Let's be real. As journalist,
Yeah.
as a person who works on media stats, who watch games, I would say
Hmm.
this game is going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, literally. So what I got for the beginning is the Aces came out of the gate fast. Like you could say
They were quick.
they dealt a really good hand. A couple blackjacks in a row, you know?
Oh my God. There you
Hey,
go,
you started
Ricky.
it. You started it. They had a bunch of quick passes. Their communication was great. And if you know Buffalo Extreme, they are literally that. They are extremely fast. They are extremely smart, and their communication is ridiculous. So to see the Aces come out the way that they did and just take over those first couple minutes, that was insane to me. And much respect to
Yeah.
the Nashville Aces.
Yeah. They literally were dealing aces high.
Oh my God,
The
some they've
whole
already never.
time.
If people haven't turned our show off already, they're going to.
It's aces high for the Nashville team, and then Buffalo, like Ricky said, they are an extreme team. Extreme. Shout out to the Hardy Boys, but it was literally
Yep.
they came out the gate. They literally it was like the Kentucky Derby. They came running out the gate fast.
Thoroughbreds, thoroughbreds.
Thoroughbred aces, bro.
Yep. So as we get further along in the first quarter, again, you guys, these are just snippets. We're not going to give you everything. They're little snippets. You can go and purchase the package.
20 bucks, bro.
Yeah, Buffalo brought full court pressure early. You don't really usually see first quarter full court pressure, but Buffalo was
Only
bringing
when
it.
you're down. Only when you're down. Typically, a team
Yep.
will. I mean, I've been down a lot when I played back in high school. We were always down, so that's why defensively, you have. I developed my defense just because we were always down. And when you're always playing down, you always have to tighten up on defense. You got to double press people. You got to push. You got to force turnovers, which is what Buffalo was doing, trying to do. They were
Hmm.
doing that to try to, instigate a 3D because obviously we all know if you guys aren't familiar, if you're watching our podcast, you should know what a 3D is already.
We've talked about it a billion times. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mainly it's a turnover from the backcourt. Whoever gets the ball on that turnover, you add an extra
Add an
point
extra point. A
to
three
whatever they
becomes a
make.
four, and a two becomes a three. And
Yeah,
even
and
if you
even
get
a
fouled
four.
on it, you
Mhm.
can
Yeah,
literally get it.
exactly.
Changes
Uh,
the whole demographic of the
oh,
game.
dude, you can be. We say 10 points is not safe in the ABA. We always say that.
20 points sometimes isn't safe.
20. Hey, yeah, don't we know it? So again, I also noticed Nashville was rushing the three. They had this guy named George on their team, and he was really good. He was a left-handed three-point shooter. But he tended to rush a few shots, and a bunch of the other guys were rushing the 3 point. And that's one of my pet peeves is people rushing the three. I mean,
Yeah.
if you could set up, set up, and they had time to set up most of the time. So, but
Mhm.
they were rushing the three, and then Buffalo on top of that with Nashville rushing the three. Buffalo got two 3Ds back to back, which you just talked about. So
Yep.
they had two extra opportunities, and I believe they capitalized on them.
Yep. That's what they
So,
do. I'm telling you, a 10-point lead, a 12-point lead, a 20-point lead is not safe with the 3D. That's what makes this league and this environment unique. It's not only just the red, white, and blue ball, which represents America. However, it's these unique rules that can
mhm.
change the demographic of this game. That's why some of these teams they're just scoring like crazy buckets. I mean, we Ricky was on the call a couple of years back for the Chula Vista Suns, who are now the San Diego Suns, when Hezzy God scored over 100, and because
That was nuts.
it was a lot of 3Ds,
It's
you
true.
know.
There was a lot of 3Ds that day. So we get to the end of the first quarter, and Buffalo has a 30 to 18 lead. And I was in shock seeing a 12
Yeah.
point deficit. I really did. I was
Yeah,
like,
we were
wow.
we were all taken by awe because, like we had said before in our precursor, we thought this game would be a lot more tighter. It
Hmm.
literally, I thought it was someone who was a 42-inch waist trying to fit into a
Oh
34.
my God. Now we are getting kicked out. Way to go. So speaking of getting kicked out, let's get into the second quarter. The second quarter was, I'm going to be real, it was a sloppy beginning. The first three
Yeah,
minutes, there was turnovers, there was missed shots, there was bad communication. And that's not a knock on the team. They're human, you know? But with
no,
these two teams, you don't expect something like that.
yeah,
Um,
it was lunch
that's
lady
God
time there
damn it.
with
Sloppy
sloppy Joes, bro.
Joes. Yes. Oh
Mhm.
man.
With the
We were
tater
talking about
tots, bro. With
this
the tater tots.
the best foods at the school were the sloppy joes, the hamburgers, and the square pizza. I love the damn square
Oh,
pizza.
the square pizza, bro.
Love me
Oh
some square
man.
pizza.
And with some
Um,
chocolate milk in the morning
oh
on
God,
those on those
we
blue or
the
on
little
those
trays,
blue or yellow
little
hard
trays.
plastic
Yep,
trays that you used to hit people with.
yep. Oh my God.
Ah,
And if you had a quarter back then, guys, that's how old we were. You could buy a little fruit punch. Those were so
oh
good.
yeah, man, those were
Yep.
solid.
So we're stupid, I swear. We
It's
got it.
early, bro.
It's
You know what?
very,
You know
y'all
what?
don't know. We go ahead. At time of
It's funny.
recording,
I'm gonna
y'all,
say it.
it
I
is.
used to get dropped. I'm aging myself, but
And then you
30
got the
something.
sun in your background, which is
Okay, I'll
hilarious
turn
right
it
now that you
away.
were talking.
It's good. I'll close the things. Give me a
Y'all,
minute.
no, I'm saying you were talking about it being early, and you got the sunrise right now.
Oh,
That's
that's
how early, y'all in California at time of recording right now. It's 7:30 in the morning.
so
So
yeah, yeah. Back in elementary school, my mom used to have to go to work. Shout out to moms who used to work hard, and
absolutely.
she worked for the IRS. So
Ooh,
yeah, hey, it's almost tax season, people. Y'all better
I
do your
did
taxes.
mine. Did
So you
mine.
better get that rapid refund going. But seriously, she would drop me off. School didn't start until 7 or 8 o'clock. I'd be at campus at 6:30,
Yeah,
and I
I do
would
something like that. Yeah.
what I would do is I would literally go stand in line at the cafeteria because there's nothing to do on campus. I'd be there before
Yeah.
the custodians were not even there.
Yeah. We
And
have a lot of people do
literally,
that.
I was waiting for that breakfast to open because I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm getting my.
You can't do that anymore. They don't let
They
you leave
wouldn't
your
let
kid
you,
by
but
yourselves anymore.
back in the day, bro, it was all about that. It
Yeah.
was like a sausage wrapped in
Oh, it looked like a
pancake.
corn dog. It looked like a corn dog.
Yes,
Yep.
bro, that
Stop
was
it.
it.
All right, we got to stop. We got to stop because I can't afford breakfast and I got to leave after this. All right, so Buffalo starts to pull away. So again, they already had the lead. They start to pull away, and then they tighten up their defense. They tightened it up even more. And again, they were doing full court pressure in the first
Yeah,
quarter, and now they're gonna tighten it up even more. But once Aces saw that, they adjusted. they
Yeah.
adjusted to the full court pressure being picked up even more, and they started picking up on the three. And again, George was the main guy, the left-handed power shooter, and he was hitting three after three after three. And we get to halftime, and Buffalo is up 53 to 38.
Yeah,
So that's where we are.
it changed the whole demographic of the game. Um, when you start tightening up, and like you said, Ricky said George was just lighting it up, and it took the whole. Sometimes the great ones will show
Stanbury,
up.
his last name is
Yeah,
Stanbury.
the great
Mhm.
ones will show up at the time of when they need to, and like Ricky's saying, man, it just turned into like, okay,
Mhm.
now Buffalo, now we can see why they play extreme.
Wow, that just happened. All right, so we get to the third quarter, and once again, the defense of Buffalo was my focus. They picked it up even more, and we if you go back and watch our show, I got to figure out what episode it was. One of the mid '80s shows. Coach Ryan Gallo talked about defense wins ball games,
That
and the way he approaches the game, and you could see that in that game. Also from there, Marcus Fegan, remember that name, especially if they win the title. And that name, remember that name, Marcus Fegan. He took control. He took control and he took a leadership role and showed by example, number zero of the
yeah,
Buffalo Extreme, Marcus Fegan. And the passing picked up. I called it on my notes. It says electric passing by Buffalo. So their passing picked up. Their communication was great. And we talked about this in the last highlight we were just talking about the first game. You have communication, things can happen.
facts. When everybody's on the same page, there's no reason to defer from a different page or look
Hmm.
at the side notes that you need to because everyone's focused on the same project.
Hmm. We get to the end of the third quarter and it's 78 to 59 Buffalo.
Yeah,
So
they're running away with it.
mm,
And like Ricky and both of us stated going into this before this game even started, we were
nobody
like,
expected it.
nobody expected a blowout. Nobody.
Yeah,
If there
exactly.
was going to, if and honestly, if there was going to be a blowout, we thought it was going to be game one.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we were wrong on that too. So shout out to the Austin
Oh, for
Bats.
we're 0 for 2, bro.
Yes, we were. Hey, fourth quarter. We get to the fourth quarter, which is the
Money
money
quarter.
quarter. So there you go, George. You're out doing whatever you're doing, and we got you. We go to the fourth quarter, and I didn't knock on the Aces at this point because I saw what they did to Chicago, and I
Yeah,
was like, hey, don't knock these guys out. They still could come back, and they did. We get to the beginning of the fourth quarter, and it starts off with like an immediate 3D,
yeah.
immediate. Like the first couple plays, they got a 3D, and I'm like, all right, here comes the momentum for Nashville you
Mhm.
know? So from there, the Aces pick up on the defense. So they're like, hell yeah, we just got this 3D. We made our 3D. And now let's pick up on they picked up on the defense.
Yep, the dealer was dealing out the aces. Finally, they started
Yeah.
getting them.
Oh my God, we're
The,
almost done
the
with this
cards
game.
got the cards got dealt.
And
Cards got
then
dealt.
yeah, and for what I saw during the fourth quarter, the Aces tried to put up a fight. They really, really did. They
Hey,
came
man.
out, they're like, and at the end of it's like the end of a sprint, a marathon, you're at the end of that marathon or a track meet and you're on lap six or whatever it is, and you're at that final stretch,
Push.
the straightaway. And they were just sprinting towards the end, but too little, too late. The Aces, they had great defense during the fourth quarter. They started picking up on the shots. They started adapting. But when you're down, what was it, 78-59 going
Yeah,
into the quarter,
it's tough.
it's
It's
hard to pick
very
up.
tough.
It's very hard to pick up on that. So, spoiler alert, the Buffalo Extreme pull out the victory 118 to 104. So, your final game is the Austin Bats, the South champions, taking on the Buffalo Extreme. And I didn't do any notes for this, but if you ask me what I think about this game, I would say it's going to be um cerebral approach of the Austin Bats and the defense of the Austin Bats taking on the electric speed and aggression of the Buffalo Extreme.
Yeah. And Ricky pointed it. Unfortunately, shout out to the Nashville Aces.
Yeah.
They had a great season as well. Another 20, they went 23 and 1. They
No,
took out the
oh yeah, they lost. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. My bad. My bad.
they took out the two-time defending champions,
Hmm.
Chicago
Chicago.
Fury. Shout out to them in Nashville. Unfortunately, just like Super Bowl 34,
Shut up.
Nashville
Nobody
fell
asked
short.
you. Nobody asked you.
Titans.
I
Titans,
hate you. I hate you.
Frank Wycheck and Kevin Dyson.
Hey, you leave Wycheck alone. Let him rest in peace. All right. And we're
All
talking about
right.
Dyson. Dyson can go
Yeah,
suck an egg.
Dyson literally sucked like the
He
vacuum.
can go suck the back of a rotten egg for all I care. Since
Okay.
we're
But
in the
but
Easter
but
season.
let's get back to the ABA real quick.
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, Nashville did their thing this year. Unfortunately, fell up short just like the Panthers. And it's no discredit to any team.
No. Yeah.
Any of these four teams, we would have been happy to see
Hmm.
any of them in the final championship.
Absolutely.
Because they all were legitly minus, I think Nashville, I mean, not Nashville, but I believe the Bats were the only ones that were like ranked number five, but everybody else was in the top three.
Yeah. By
And
one loss. The Bats only had
one loss.
one loss.
So
You
it's
know?
just no. I mean, they showed up. The final four teams were showing up, and kudos to those who unfortunately got knocked out. But I think this
Mhm.
championship today, like Ricky said, the defense, if they play their cards right,
Oh my God, you did
no
it
shout out
again.
to, and I think Buffalo and the Bats of Austin, I think it's gonna be a really good final, and it
And
should be.
it's going to be exciting. Again, if you guys are watching this in the morning, we're giving you enough time to watch this before the game. The game is at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, on realaba.com /TV. Just check it out. Make sure you get on it. If you go to realaba.com, you can find it. Um, also shout out.
Ricky, you'll probably put just on this video on the when you do post it, he'll probably put the link, the hyperlink that will
I'll
get you to
try
the
to
page
find you
you
the
can buy it.
hyperlink. Yeah, I got the hyperlink. Also shout out to Eric Ivy, dude. I've done the thing where you call seven. I called 7 games in 3 days. The week of the MLK jump off down here in Linwood. I had called a couple college games during the week, and then I had to call like 6 games that weekend. So my voice was just shot. So shout out to Eric Ivy. He's not a young pup anymore. He's the head of Minotaur Media out in Indiana.
Indiana.
So shout out to him, and he's got some badass effects. I'm gonna give him a shout out on that.
Yeah.
So, and I know, yeah, he messed up on a couple little things, but we all have. That the 3D light being on for a couple minutes, and we did notice that because we're in the media, we're gonna notice that stuff.
Yeah,
But
of
in the
course,
fact that
bro.
he had that on his media is a shout out to him because you get people who can't afford cool effects like that or don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Hint,
Um,
hint, send us some stuff. Hint, hint.
yeah, we need that. We're gonna get that. For next year, whether it's for college, whether it's for the couple, we are a couple ABA games that we will be doing. And then, spoiler alert, we talked about it yesterday. Nationals are going to be in Vegas, and your boys are going to
Bro,
be there.
we're there in Vegas in
Your
April.
boys, your boys are going to more than likely be the media team for that
We're
game.
the hosts, bro. We're the hosts with the most.
Yeah, we're going to bring it big in the West because that's how we roll. So, okay, we got about 5 minutes left. It's at recording at 7:35 in the morning because we're insane like that. What do the fans have to look forward to on the Austin side, on the Buffalo side, and in the game in general in your eyes?
Okay, so let's go with Austin first since they're closer to the West. I feel the fans obviously are going to bring the energy like they brought in the Final Four. Big cowboy hats, expect big
They
cowboy
had
hats.
cowboy hats. It was great. The guy
Bring the steers out, bring out the freaking
that Bevo's not coming to the game.
no, but bring out everything you can with Texas. Texas
Yeah,
does it big. If Texas plays and the Bats play exactly the same
mhm.
way they did against the Panthers,
Gonna be
going to be
close.
that high energy. They're
Yeah.
going to be forcing turnovers. They're
Hmm.
going to be, and then that one player you were talking about,
Mims, the big guy.
Mims, if he shows up, regardless if his shorts are mismatching or not, that he's just going to literally be that same energy. You can expect them to be scoring a lot of points. I mean, they put up 111 on the
Yeah.
Panthers,
And
which
that's
is which
wild to
is
hear.
wild because typically the
No pun
Panthers
intended. Sorry.
no, because typically the Panthers hold their opponent to about under 90.
Yeah.
So the fact that they dropped almost 20 more than what the average is. So if Austin does that, that's what I expect from them. Now for Buffalo on the other end, because Buffalo is one of those teams that can run and gun as well, just like the
Yeah.
Panthers. Um, expect them to score a lot of points. Players like they're taking over, like you said. Number zero,
Vegan. Vegan.
Vegan. I expect him to have a high game, and be a force and be obviously communicative with the rest of the other, four on the court and the other X amount that are on the bench. Just keeping everybody in track, and like you said, the coach doing his thing over there with Buffalo. It should be a really good high paced game. And you know what? I'm gonna throw a prediction out there. I'm gonna say final score
Ooh, okay.
118 to like 112. Yeah, I'm going that. It's going to be a really high paced, high fast game. If Buffalo can keep the turnovers down to a minimum and play tight on defense, I see Buffalo taking the championship. Now,
Yeah.
if they do unfortunately fall apart on defense and not box out and forcing turnovers that they shouldn't be doing,
Hmm.
then it's going to be another. It'll be technically it'll be an upset, but still don't discredit Austin just because I'm calling them the underdog. This would be a really either way, it's going to be a great champion. We're going to have a champion here that's deserving. We're going to have a
No co-championship.
no, this isn't the co-championship here. We are literally going to have a champion.
And
And
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, and you guys, when we talk about championship, this ain't like, oh, we got 30 teams, 10 teams. No, we have over 150 teams nationwide, and one of these two teams is going to be a champion after today.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how many teams are in this
And
league.
there's
But
more coming.
oh God, help me.
Yeah, I saw that from the owners'
We
meetings. Oh my God.
open up the floodgates, bro.
So,
It's literally the like I say, I would have not been surprised by any of the four
hmm.
being in the championship.
Yep.
The fact that it's Buffalo and it's Austin
Yeah.
makes it like, wow, okay. I
Yep.
expected to, in reality, I expected to be Silicon Valley and Buffalo. That's who
Yep.
I was
That's
positive.
what we all thought. And the world worked in mysterious ways. The bat said, "No, I don't think so, dumbasses. Let's
Yeah,
just show you."
yeah, literally,
So,
they came down with their
yeah.
rabies because bats have rabies.
Bro, seriously? Now we're gonna
Yes.
have PETA coming after us? God dang it. All right, so we got about 3 minutes left. A shout out to E1 Connect Marketing, Donovan Hilton, our sponsor. We really appreciate you backing us during all this time. And also, don't forget, coming up next week, we actually are going to be interviewing the coach of the team that was hosting Nationals this year, the Atlanta Aliens, I believe, Alan Duck Rogers, and his son, Alan Rogers Jr. Oh my God. Well, I believe was the coach for Nashville. So that's gonna be cool to maybe get a Ducks version of what he saw and what he probably would have done different. So it'd be cool. And a shout out to Duck Rogers also. They took the owners to a Hawks game the other day just to treat them. I thought that was really cool and very classy that he did something like that. My predictions, I got Buffalo 125, 120. And if Austin pulls it out, I got 102 to 99. It's
Oh,
gonna be exciting.
so you believe they're going to hold them under 100?
I don't know. I mean, if their defense, if they play defense the way they did against Silicon Valley, shit, anything can happen, bro. It's
Facts.
gonna be crazy. So with that said, y'all, this is by far the quickest show we've ever done. I think we with the Nebraska guy we did about 45 minutes. This has been about 40. So we wanted to say thank you again. We both got stuff to do today, but we wanted you guys to have just a little preview of what's coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. When the South Division champion Austin Bats take on the East champion Buffalo Extreme, you're in for a treat. That's all I got to say. Final thought, Drew.
Final thought is, man, go purchase it. $23 and some change. Ricky's going to have the hyperlink on here. It's been a great season. 2025, 26,
Mm-hmm.
26 season. It's the 25th anniversary. You got nothing else to do today on a Sunday. If you're like some of us though do have lives and have things to do. But but go out and watch it. My final thought is like it's going to be a great game. I hope to be enjoyed. I hope to be entertained. I hope I see a lot of drama. I want to see a battle. I literally want to see a battle. And if it's a blowout, I'll be kind of like disappointed. But if
Mm-hmm.
it's a battle down to the end, it's going to be worthy. No matter what, whoever wins today, they're
Earned
going
it.
to deserve it,
Yeah.
hands down, hands
And
down.
I think
My hands are up though, hands down.
oh my I think that both teams didn't party at all on Saturday.
I
I
would hope
think
not.
Well, I'm just saying some teams would go out and we're not going to say who, but go out and do their thing and party it up and do whatever. And I'm talking
They're in the
multiple teams
Magic
here.
City. They're in the
Multiple
Magic
teams. They are
City.
in the Magic City, exactly.
Wink, wink.
Eight town down, you know. But they probably were in the hotel room or in a conference room, and they probably watched some video. If not last night, then this morning for sure. Or maybe as we speak right now, they're watching video. I
Hmm.
guarantee Gallo did. I guarantee it because he told us he's all about the details.
Hmm.
So again, go back and watch. We got to figure out what episode that was. Our interview with Ryan Gallo, Team Extreme, I think is what we called it.
It was like episode
It
80
was like
something.
88 or 87, something like that. But make sure you guys check it out. If you want to write down the hyperlink right now, I'm going to give it to you guys, and I'm also going to put it in the description on the YouTube. It's a HTTPS colon backslash backslash events dot real ABA league dot com backslash events backslash ABA 26 live. So if you guys got that, write it down. If not, I'm going to put it in the hyperlink. Make sure when you watch our videos, you guys, please read the description first because there's always disclaimers. There's always a little preview of what you're about to experience or what you're going to hear, who you're going to hear. There's going to be warnings if we do trigger warning. We talk about drugs, sex, alcohol, murder, anything that we talked about, all the above. You know, life happens to these players, you know, and suicide. We talked about many things. Yes, exactly. Life before basketball. So there will be the disclaimer in here. I do hear some rain outside, so I might not have to rush loading this, but we're gonna load it anyway. It's raining here in California, and I'm supposed to go do a doubleheader of baseball.
It
So
never
I'm already
rains in
suited up.
Southern California.
That's right. Yeah, no, we it never does, but when it does, it does. So, and it's annoying.
Tony,
Anyway,
Tony,
all
Tony.
the East Coast people are telling us to shut the hell up right now. They're like, "Shut up, you pansies! Deal with it. We got our 8 feet of snow." No, I'm good. I'll take my beach every day. Beaches and city life every
Yes,
day.
sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
anyways, on behalf of the agent Drew, I'm Double R Ricky Rodriguez. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our quick little uh recap slash preview show for national championships. Good luck to the Austin Bats. Good luck to Ryan Gallo, one of our previous guests, and the Buffalo Extreme. Someone's going to stand as a champion. Someone's getting a ring today. ABA is going to be rocking at 2 p.m. Eastern. Make sure
Facts.
you guys tune in. It's going to be awesome. I want to thank you guys so much. If you're out there driving in Southern California right now, you know we don't know how to drive for crap in the rain. So take your time. Be careful. He knows it's true. Take your time. Be careful. Remember, times are hard. Life is hard. And remember, when life hands you the ball,
Take
take
your
your
shot,
shot.
boy.
We're out of here.